panel, Mr. Chris. Hey, everybody. Good chant for Eddie Ibrahim, please, who every year. I love you too. My favorite thing so far is that he had to remind you to go to the bathroom if you have to. Don't forget, don't just let it happen where you are. This is incredibly exciting. I know the things that are coming up, and I can barely contain myself because I know what you're about to see. I know that you wait all year for this. You spend a lot of resources and money and time to come here. I know you waited outside all night, and I can promise you today, Comic-Con 2017 Saturday, you will absolutely not be disappointed by any stretch of the imagination. I can't even wrap my brain around it. So let's just start, you guys. Let's just get right into this. Let's start this panel, Warner Brothers on Saturday. Start the thing and the effects and the business. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Go to the bathroom. I would like to introduce internationally best-selling author and screenwriter, Mr. Ernest Cline, to the stage. An up-and-coming filmmaker that you guys might, I really try to remember his name. He's going to do big things. Please welcome Steven Spielberg.
Yeah!
Steven, you must have been to Hall H before. You've been in here before, haven't you?
No.
You've been here twice before. Are there microphones?
Twice.
Oh, good, excellent. Ernest, you and I are almost exactly the same age. Your book was essentially a diary of my life. Can you just talk about what this means to be here on stage at Hall H with Steven Spielberg, who has directed your movie?
Wow, well, that's a tall order. Well, like I'm sure a lot of people in this room, I grew up watching this man's movies and studying them, and they're kind of woven into the fabric of my DNA. I learned to become a storyteller from this guy, and so it's been the most amazing and gratifying experience of my life.
And Steven, can you talk a little bit about the virtual world that you've created? Any challenges that were different than other things that you had worked on before?
Well, the virtual world was it was amazing when I read Ready Player One, when I read Ernie's book. It was like the most amazing flash forward and flash back at the same time to a decade that I was very involved in, the 1980s, but to a flash forward about a future that I think is out there awaiting all of us, whether we like it or not. And you know, the creation of a virtual world took almost 2.5 years of preparation to result in what will result at the end of March of next year.
When you read the book, did you instantly feel challenged by this? I mean, do you still feel challenged at this point in your life? I mean, do you ever just wake up and you go, "It's Steven Spielberg"? Oh, that's a mirror. Like, does it ever?
No, I read the book and I said, they're going to need a younger director. It was really, it's more than you could ever imagine. Ernie's imagination in taking all of us where you took us. And I had no idea at first how I was, as a filmmaker, going to get any of you there, but he was the guide, he was the handbook for doing that.
Excellent. So I assume because this is Hall H and because it's Saturday and you're here, do you have some footage that you can share?
Yeah, we have a little footage. It's not like a 5-minute production reel, but we have a little footage which I'm really proud of, which will just give you a slight taste of things to come.
Excellent. Let's take a look at the footage. Olivia, TJ Miller, Ben Mendelsohn. I just feel like a weird creep over here, just staring at you guys from off to the side. But Zach, let's talk just really quickly. Let's talk about the job that you guys had taking this novel and turning it into a movie. Because obviously, when people read a book and it's very personal to them and they sort of project what they see, what were some of the challenges and how did you guys go about being able to take that onto the screen?
Wow, well, it was super easy. We just kind of, I think Stephen would back me up in saying this was the most complex, it's definitely the most complex movie I've ever worked on, and I think Stephen might agree with me. There's so much material, there's so much stuff in the book that you can use, that just to find a way to winnow it down and tell a story that can fit into a reasonable length, so that's not 11 hours. That in itself was a challenge, but to be honest with you, I thought, well, this will never happen. We're never going to be able to make this movie because we need like Steven Spielberg to direct it, or otherwise. and to be honest with you, when they told me they were going to send it to him, I was like, oh, he's never going to do it. So yeah, that made everything a lot easier.
That really helped to get the only guy who could make this movie to direct the movie.
Yeah.
Ty actually has a VR production company. Is this correct?
Yes.
And what are you working on right now? Oh, you can't say.
No, I mean, I was obsessed with virtual reality when I heard about this project, and I was like, oh, holy shit. Steven Spielberg is doing a VR movie. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, and so I mean, just to be even involved in the smallest increment, I think I'd have been so fortunate. But you know, now here we are at Comic-Con. I'm so happy to be here with all you guys.
Teacher just died.
Tell everybody that I'm wearing my Elliot hoodie.
Yes. Yes.
Steven Spielberg, and I always refer to him as his full name. Steven Spielberg will, he doesn't like to reference, like in a meta way, his own movie so much, so I dressed up as sort of with Back to the Future. I did the whole thing. I'm in the spirit of Comic-Con.
I just wore a Jurassic Park patch and I'll be like, he's gonna love this. And then you're like, I feel shamed. This isn't even.
It's not even real. Fuck out!
I took it off. Yeah. The head of Warner Brothers was like, Jurassic Park. And I'm like, it was for Steven! Olivia, I want to talk a little about how most of the characters in the film have a human version and an avatar. So can you talk a little bit about the creation of those two different types of characters?
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, these avatars are sometimes the idealized version of themselves or a completely different creation. So kind of working with that duality in mind, because some of us in motion capture, we had to adopt different characteristics and different physicalities. So to work with that was really fun and interesting and unlike anything that I've had to do before. And a challenge for us all, I would say. Just coming off that.
So for Ernest, because this book came out about 6 years ago, and were you surprised? I mean, is this so surreal? Are you surprised at how close you are to this vision? And is this the vision that you imagined when you were feverishly typing away? Is this what you saw in your head?
It's better than that. The whole time I was writing the book, I assumed it could never be a movie because of all the different. I kind of wanted to mash up pop culture and pay tribute to everything in pop culture that I love, and I assumed that it could just never work as a film. But that's why I was so gratified when I think really the only two guys who could have made this movie came on board. Zach's work is a big influence on me. He wrote Last Action Hero, which is one of my favorite films. And kind of the first movie where a movie fan gets trapped inside a movie and uses their movie knowledge, to survive. And so, and I just had the best experience with the adaptation. But as far as like virtual reality coming about, that's what's amazing to me about this film. This movie is going to expose so many people to the concept of virtual reality that I think it's going to change the speed with which virtual reality is adopted by our civilization. It's really that's the power of movies. So it's really exciting. Last Christmas was the first Christmas where you could buy virtual reality headsets, commercially available. So it's weird to have this all come about at the same time.
I can't imagine why people in today's day and age would want to escape actual reality. There's no reason that I can think of, but I guess if the kids like the VR. Ben, do you have any stories, anything that was fun for you about working on the movie and working with Steven?
Nah.
Okay, good.
Everyone just leaves.
Hi. No, it's awesome. I mean, if you turn up to work and Steven Spielberg is your boss, come on. Everything else is just gravy after that.
We have some time for audience Q&A. If you guys want to ask a couple of questions, we have just we have about 8 minutes or so. Hey, Mike! Hey! Doing, buddy?
Hey guys, my question is, I saw some of the iconic video game stuff, and is Sinistar going to be in the game? Because I do a good Sinistar. I hunger.
Sinistar. Yeah.
I don't know if Sinistar made it in, man, but you could probably see one of the ostriches from Joust in the teaser, exploding and turning into an egg. There's so much video game stuff, classic video game stuff hidden in this movie, it's gonna make you happy.
Well, nothing's stopping you when you watch the movie from just sitting there and going, I am Sinistar. Good to see you, man. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Luis.
What's the question?
So my question is for the art there. Just when you wrote the book, this was before VR became a very popular thing. So how does it feel knowing that VR is pretty much becoming
It's really...
No, it's not. There's a guy right behind him that everybody wants to hear a question from that guy. Nobody's laughing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was your question again?
So pretty much your book was the forefront for modern day VR. So how does that make you feel that you're pretty much wrote the blueprint?
Oh, you're so kind. It makes me feel a little bit like Arthur C. Clarke, predicting the satellite before it was actually invented. But when I wrote Ready Player One, I was standing on the shoulders of a lot of science fiction giants like William Gibson, who wrote Neuromancer, and Snow Crash. So I was not the first person to envision virtual reality. I feel very fortunate, though, that I wrote a book kind of predicting the potential of virtual reality right at the time that it was about to come about. And that was the most amazing thing to me. Like companies like Oculus and HTC Vive, they give copies of Ready Player One out to all their employees to help inspire them and show them the potential of virtual reality. So it's just it's a huge honor. It would be the second biggest honor of my life.
It was a little bit more accurate than Lawnmower Man, I think, also. I want to get a question from the guy. Go ahead.
This question is, when are you going back to your home planet, TJ? That's the question.
Once the task is done.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Spielberg, how many times did you read the book before you took on the project, and what stood out the most to you? Like you said, I gotta do this? Will they let me get away with that? Please.
Will they let me get away with putting some of my own movies in this movie and not be vilified for some kind of grand act of, grand larceny of vanity or something like that? Because so many of the iconic moments that were chosen by Ernie happened in the era of the 80s that I was very much involved in. So, I had to leave a lot of myself out, or, I would have had to defer to another director. But for me, the thing that really made me want to tell the story, more than anything else, was the amount of, the kind of world that 2045, 44 gives to people, which is so dystopian and so much, people are leaving the country, and all of a sudden virtual reality gives you a choice, gives you another world you can exist in, and you can do anything in that world, anything you possibly could imagine, because there are haptic suits that haven't come on the market yet that give you a kind of feedback that approximates touch, sensuality, and pain. And so that interaction between real life and virtual life by the third act of this movie is almost non-existent. And that in the book is what made me want to jump into the movie.
Excellent, thank you. I think we have time for one more question.
My question's for you.
Wait, hang on, what are you guys eyeing about? Because the guy in the back, you want the guy in the back to ask a question?
No, because they're zoomed in, so you can't see him.
You're good, you pay attention to this man. I will let the man behind him ask the final question on this topic. But if his question is no good, that is on you. Do you understand this? lot of pressure back there. All that hand waving better yield an amazing question. All right. What's your question?
All right, what exactly got into the brainstorming behind, like you know, from the footage you saw, like we saw DeLorean and the Tron cycles, like what exactly, like, was the inspiration for you to be like, I want this thing and this thing right next to each other for that scene?
Well, a lot of it's in the book. I own a DeLorean. I drive a DeLorean because of this. When I first met Steven, I brought the glove box lid of my DeLorean to the meeting and pulled it out and asked him if he would sign it, and he did. And then I asked him, have you ever signed a DeLorean before? And he said, no. I said, do you know who the only guy in the world with a Steven Spielberg signed DeLorean is? That's why it's so amazing that it ended up in the film. But a lot of it, a lot of things that are maybe major events in the book will only be mentioned briefly in the movie or be in the corner of a frame, but all of it's still in the spirit of this in the book. And that was what was one of the most fun parts of the production for me, was having hearing Steven and Zach and other people on the cast come up with ideas of things to insert in the film. And then because it's Steven, most of them said yes, and so they ended up like, how amazing is it to see the Iron Giants?
Yeah. I knew that was Iron Giant too.
The Iron Giant is a real major player in this story.
So I want to let this man's question, but I also want to give a shout out. If you haven't read Ready Player One, you absolutely should, or listen to the audiobook, which is narrated by my dear friend Will Wheaton, and he does an amazing job. He doesn't want to ask a question? So you just want to sit back there and kind of co-host. I'm totally up for that, my friend. You can sit back there and co-host as much as you want. That's all the time we have for questions. I would like to thank everyone up here. Ready Player One opens March 30th.
The original Blade Runner was set in 2019, just 2 short years from now. Throughout my life, I've always gone back to that film. There was something in it that really touched me and taught me a lot about cinema. When it came out in 1982, it was truly mind-blowing in its depiction of the future, its craftsmanship, and its forward-thinking filmmaking. And Blade Runner 2049 is the sequel that I think both you and I have been waiting for. The experience of making Blade Runner 2049 has been truly one of the highlights of my film career. And Denis Villeneuve is the perfect director to move us forward into the next realm of filmmaking. I guarantee you this, the future will be as strange as science fiction.
Do not panic. It is all okay. It's me, Chris Hardwick. I'm not a hologram. You can tell because I'm not wearing future pants. But I'm very excited for this panel. We're going to get everyone out here in a minute. You may have already seen the trailer, but just in case, here's a recent trailer for Blade Runner 2049. Everyone who made this possible, please welcome director Denis Villeneuve. Stars Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Ana de Armas, Sylvia Hoeks, Lennie James, Andrew Kosove, Broderick Johnson, and screenwriters Hampton, Fancher, and Michael Green. Excellent. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making another Blade Runner. I think everyone here would appreciate that. Yeah. So to take on something like Blade Runner, this is obviously a very deeply personal movie for people. I'm sure it was for you as well. So what was it that made you decide, you were up for the challenge, you wanted to make it happen, and how'd you go about it?
Me?
Sure.
I didn't want somebody else to fuck it up.
That's the best answer I've ever heard. That is legitimately the best answer I've ever heard. It's honest.
No, but it's one of my favorite movie of all time. I grew up with this movie. And it's like, it's true, Harrison. and it's part of the birth. When I decided to be a filmmaker, it's part of the birth of that desire, that dream. The movie was there, and I couldn't say no. But I didn't say yes spontaneously. It's not an easy task. It was a big challenge, but we had a lot of fun, I must say, doing it.
And can you talk a little bit about working with Ridley Scott and just what that process was like a little bit?
But the thing is that the best way to work with Ridley was that he was far away. Because the thing is that Ridley was very generous at the beginning. He explained to me what were his inspiration, source of inspiration for the first movie, how he did it, what were the ideas, the main ideas behind it, the creative process of it. And then he let me alone. He said, it's your movie, it's your responsibility. If you need me, I'll be there, otherwise I'll be away. That was the best gift he could give me, because I would not have been able to direct a movie with him just behind my back. Would not have been possible, I must say.
Excellent. And so, Harrison, what made you decide to come back to Blade Runner? Because I think if people saw a Blade Runner movie without you in it, they would go, well, it's not a real Blade Runner movie. So why was it important for you to be involved?
Well, we had a really good script, and based on a really good idea, and it deepened the understanding of my character. My character had very strong emotional relationships to other characters in the film, and I think I felt when I read the script that it had great depth, and it was a fantastic opportunity. I was delighted to be involved.
Did it help answer some questions for you from the original movie? Oh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite thing, whatever's about to happen.
Be careful. It doesn't matter what I think.
Okay. That's another great answer. What about Ryan Gosling? How does this? How was this different for you, Ryan, from other sci-fi movies? And when you read it, the vision of it, what was it that you saw going into it? What did it mean to you?
Seeing the original or this?
I mean, having seen the original, going into this and differentiating it from other, dystopian sci-fi film, what was it that was special about it to you?
I mean, there's so much that makes the film special. I think thematically it's really, I just remember when I saw it when I was a kid, I was really, it was one of the first films that I'd seen that it wasn't clear how it was supposed to feel when it was over. And it was very hard to distinguish the hero from the villain. There's a moral ambiguity to it that's quite a haunting experience. And of course, visually and just thematically and the performances, there's just something really magical happened in that film. And as a fan, I was just excited to hear that they were going to continue the story, and then to be a part of it was, just an incredible opportunity, and then to get to work with any one of these people, you hope to have that in your career, but to get to work with all of them at the same time, it's just, it's like being on a football team with the Avengers or something. We're gonna be good.
Maybe a football team with the Justice League. I think that's what, there was a little bit of an audio glitch. No, this other group, you speak up, but it sounds interesting.
Denis, wait. This is Hall H. We're just showing him a trailer. This Hall H. Wait a minute, I want to hear some cheers. There's nothing else we can show. Well, listen, I think we can show maybe a little tease, maybe.
You guys want to see something?
All right, let's roll it then. I just have a question for Harrison, which, you obviously don't answer this if you don't like the question, but I love that the themes of Blade Runner is really exploring the idea of our relationship to technology, and especially now, since the first one came out, we're so much more reliant on technology. Do you have any thoughts on any of the ethical ideas behind this?
Yeah, I mean, the original film explored the ethics of the creation of replicants and their utility, and we further developed those themes in the story. But I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Okay. You don't have to.
Yeah. No.
I could come over and tickle you until you said something.
Bring it on.
Host and presenter Chris Hardwick was brutally murdered today inside Hall H.
That was awkward.
Awkwardly attractive. I wonder if anyone else has any more ideas. Lennie, who I adore, Walking Dead is about as big a show as you can have on television. And even though you've worked on other films, have you worked on anything of this scale before?
No. And I don't believe I'm here and this is happening. It was, up until now, I didn't even know that we were going to get this far. I can't believe it happened because it happened in a tiny, for me anyways, it was like a little gift that was kind of given. It happened in a tiny little window that it had to fit in the middle of shooting The Walking Dead, and I flew off to Budapest and I shot this thing and I came back and I went back into killing zombies, and then I got a phone call and here I am.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then for Sylvia or Anna, any experiences working on the film that you want to share before we go to audience questions? Anything that was exciting to you? I mean, like, what was...
I mean, for me, everything was exciting. I mean, to begin with, working with this all geniuses here, it was mind-blowing. And the whole thing, the whole experience from rehearsals to, working, seeing the costumes, trying them on, like a lot of work with our hair department and makeup and everyone. It was so cool to see how the character was coming, alive, and then every day on set was amazing.
Excellent. I'm sure people have audience questions, so we'll throw the questions for a couple minutes. Hi, what's your name?
Hi there, my name is Cindy. I'm from Colombia. I came all over there, from there to here, sorry. I'm super nervous. Ryan, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. So my question is for the cast. If you could give any advice to your character, what would it be? Thank you.
Any advice to an actor, you said? Any advice to an actor?
Their cast. The entire cast.
Oh, the entire cast?
Yes.
Okay.
I could give any advice to the cast?
To your character. To your character.
Don't mistakenly go in Harrison's trailer. Huge mistake.
Good advice. Thank you for the question.
Yeah. It might be a difficult question to answer without giving anything away, without revealing anything, but thank you for coming. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jonah. And what I was wondering was that it's been, a while since the original Blade Runner came out. Sorry, I'm starting very nervous. And what I was wondering is that, what did it feel like that kind of surreal moment? Like, when did it sink in? Like, we're doing Blade Runner again. Like, when did it really sink in?
That's actually a really great question. Yeah, because obviously you go to work and you're like, oh, I got a job, I got to learn this stuff. But there must have been a moment where it really started to sink in what it was that you were doing.
I'm not sure that it has sunk in yet. I'm not sure this isn't like a giant elaborate episode of Punk'd that I'm a part of somehow. No, honestly, it's so surreal because you grow up watching this film. It's such an iconic film. The universe is not isolated to the film itself. It's been borrowed from and inspired so many other movies. It's so expansive, and then to the point where it sort of felt like it then enveloped us, and we were in it and walking around in these incredible locations, and it's really hard to describe that feeling, and it really hasn't quite sunk in yet.
I think we have time for one more question before we have to let everyone go. What's your name, sir?
I'm Adam.
Hey, Adam. What's your question?
It's for Harrison Ford. Is your life goal to reboot every major franchise? Like Blade Runner?
You bet your ass it is.
Wonder Woman, which I think it goes without saying was a freaking incredible movie. Tomorrow morning, Wonder Woman will be the highest grossing summer film of 2017. Now I feel like we should probably get into some more stuff that you might want to see. So we thought maybe it would be interesting to start off at this part of the panel with a bit of a splash. Ladies and gentlemen, your Aquaman! Aquaman, because everyone is super wet right now. This man, I want you to know, this man came all the way from Australia last night to be here.
I came all the way from Australia for you guys.
Yeah. I love you too, man. Congratulations and welcome to all this. I mean, what is it? What can you say about Arthur Curry, and what have you enjoyed, and what's been exciting for you?
Here, buddy.
Oh, I'm not worthy for this. I feel very.
It looks good on you, man. It looks good on you. It's been awesome. Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Aqua Kid. Hey, step. Aqualad, yeah. Wait, take this fish. Yeah. I don't know, man. Looks
Leave him alone, fish.
Thank you. Thanks for looking out for me. So what have you enjoyed so far?
Being Aquaman.
Yes.
I had a great time in London. Justice League, I love them.
What? No, I wasn't.
Stop making out with my trident.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to show you what we have today. 18 months away from Aquaman, and there's a lot of stuff we do want to show you. Unfortunately, I wish I could take this and go, and you guys can see what I've seen. But unfortunately, we can't show too much.
Can't show too much.
Yeah, we're a ways away, but we made something really, really special.
Yeah, you've been working with James Wan. Who's
Absolutely, he's a little genius, man. I love him. Yeah, we're having a great time down there. He wishes he could be here. Everyone does. Amber, Patrick, everyone says hello. Yaya. Love my cast, and we made a little special thing.
Yeah, James made a special message for you. Let's take a look. 18, which seems like a long time, but you will not have to wait that long to see Jason in action. So maybe we should bring out some of his super friends. Maybe that would be but it really means a lot to everyone here that you all showed up to unite for this here at Comic-Con. And obviously, I know it's a lot of hard work. Ben, what did it feel like when you finally united as the Justice League?
You know, I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing cast. And the first time when everyone had their costumes on and we were on the set and it was everybody, it was very much a high geek level moment. It was just it's incredible. Really amazing.
I just kept trying to touch everyone, and everyone had to be like, stop it, stop it, please, it looks so cool and real.
It is real. Ben, there have been some stories in the past day or so, and I just kind of want to know.
I know, let me be very clear. I am the luckiest guy in the world. Batman is the coolest fucking part in any I'm so thrilled to do it. I know there's a misconception because I didn't direct it that maybe I wasn't enthusiastic about it. It's fucking amazing. And I still can't believe it after 2 films. We have this history with this great studio, and you know, Kevin Tsujihara and Sue Kroll and Toby Emmerich have said to me, we want you to be our Batman, and you know, I believe them. And with Matt Reeves doing it, it's like I would be a fucking ape on the ground for Matt Reeves. Never mind being Batman. It's incredible. So I'm really blown away and excited, and it's a great time in the DC universe. You're gonna see some stuff from Justice League that we're really, really proud of, and I think you'll see why I'm so excited to see Batman.
Excellent.
Yeah! The hype. People don't believe the hype.
Gal, I remember we were on the stage. beautiful movie. You are so wonderful in it.
Oh, thank you
And so,
much.
what is it specifically about Wonder Woman that's special to you? And why do you think that it has resonated so globally the way that it has?
I think that, no, thank you, so are you, whoever you are. I think that, you know, this character is just so incredible. She stands for everything that is good, for love and for compassion and for truth and justice and peace, and there's nothing not to love about her. And yeah, and honestly, I'm grateful that you guys have made her who she is and made this movie so successful. And you know, I can only celebrate this character and be super grateful for the opportunity.
There are legitimately like 3 or 4 times a day since I saw the movie that I just out loud go near like when I'm trying to run on a treadmill or something. Ezra is a self-proclaimed fanboy, and I think that tracks. So, Ezra, what is it about this universe that you love so much and being such an integral part of it?
Well. Thought you'd never ask. Well, as we know, the DC universe is the first comic universe. This league that we are in is the first, unless you count the only one who came before us was the Justice Society of America, which is of course us as well. Yeah, and so, I mean, I'm thrilled. What more can I say? It's the greatest as far as I'm concerned. Are there other comic houses?
There's a couple startups.
Yeah, I heard of those, but no, I mean, pretty much, you know, the monopoly, it's unfair.
I know there's Marmaduke. I don't know if there's anything else.
I've heard of Marmaduke. I have heard of Marmaduke. Doing very well.
Yeah. What about Ray? Because these characters essentially get their powers as a result of an accident. So how does that unite them? How does that bond them?
Well, with Cyborg and the Flash, you know, they do get their powers as a result of accidents, and I think that bonds them in a very specific way, both through the traumas that they've had, but also due to the fact that they're the youngest members of the group. You know, you're kind of standing. Well, I didn't say the most beautiful, but the youngest, but not the most beautiful.
You're so old. It's like an ancient being. We're like young kids, college kids.
Well played.
But what I think works is that, you know, you have all these characters that are dealing with their personal issues who come together, for lack of a better term, come together and are able to use those circumstances to save the world, which is beautiful. I mean, everybody here has gone through some sort of family or emotional situation, and you know, you find solace in people that are like you, and so they see each other in how they interact. You know, they see each other in their purpose, and you know, it's going to be a hell of a good time.
Excellent. Yeah. This is for Jason. Aquaman seems a little less willing to play with the group. What's going on?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, it's not working. Hello? Check. Hello? Oh, now you're all in big trouble. Yeah, I just think he's, you know, Aquaman's he's not really accepted on land or in the sea, so he kind of lives in the tides. He's just very, I guess he's hurt. He's sensitive. And he covers it up. There's a lot of, you know, he's a big onion, and we're just slowly peeling inside.
Don't you see the big
He's a little teddy
safe
bear.
space? Right over the Batcave it says, this is a safe space. You know? You don't feel that when we're together?
I do.
Sorry, this is a personal conversation, guys.
But it's, you know, he comes through. And he ends up joining the league, and it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to him, you know? And he's loved and wanted, and feels part of the team.
Well, I think it might be time for to serve up some justice. So, Ben, what'd you bring today for?
I just want to take 1 second to just absorb this because it's really. Get it! So, in their life, get to come to Hall H and say, "I'm Batman." Yeah!
It was fun. Batman.
We have some pretty, I think it's pretty great, and you'll see all these guys and how amazing they are, and I don't think it doesn't need much introduction. Let's show it.
Excellent. Let's show some Justice League trailer. Okay, what are we doing? What's happening? I don't think I'm a part of this. He's excited.
This is how we roll. This is what happens after every take that we get.
I thought I was going to be a projectile in like 2 seconds. I was like, catch me!
Go and do the WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania now. That'd be fine. It's a great way. I mean, the footage was fantastic. Footage, you guys look amazing. The footage looks amazing. We absolutely should open up the floor to some questions because I know people will have some. Now it's not so fun to pick up the chairs when you throw them.
True Justice League over here. Come in and save us when we need chairs.
When Aquaman breaks a chair, they bring another one. That's how it is. Let's take some questions from the audience. Oh, I see Diana has a question. What is your...
It's probably for Bruce, right? It's Ben. For Ben.
Hi, my name is Sherry. Congratulations, gal, on your baby. We missed you at WonderCon. Wonder Woman was awesome. The question I have for is the whole cast. When you first found out that you got the role as Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, what were you doing at that moment?
Oh, I've never heard that before, actually. What were you doing at the moment when you found out you got the role? Anybody?
I was sitting in an airplane, just landed, and then I got the call, and then I started screaming in the middle of the airplane.
It's fine, I'm Wonder Woman, don't freak out. Jason?
I was in Mr. Snyder's office and he's going, I want you to play someone for me. And I'm like, he goes, Aquaman. And I'm like, pardon me? That's the biggest shock, one of the biggest shocks of my life.
Ezra, do you have a...
Yes, I was in a small town in Costa Rica, Pura Vida, and was eating some sort of delicious fish. And I received a call, and it was my agent, and he was very panicked. And he said, I have Zack Snyder on the phone, he wants to talk to you, I don't know why. And I said, hold on, this fish is quite delicious. And I said, okay. And I plucked a bone from between my teeth, and I said, I'm ready. And Zack Snyder came on the phone, he's like, Ezra, I'm a big fan of your work. Listen, I have this idea, it's a crazy idea. I want you to be the Flash. And I started having a conniption. You know what
I do, yes, I'm from the South.
I had a full one, a fully realized conniption. Right there, and people, the Costa Rican people were alarmed.
This man's crazy, he's screaming and spitting fish bones everywhere.
Meanwhile, that was valid for them to think that.
Ray, what about you?
Where was I? I was in my apartment, and I get a call. I'm reading another script because I'm thinking, man, I probably bombed that Justice League audition. I'm never gonna get the role. And I get a random call from Zach's assistant saying, hey, Zach wanted to talk to you briefly. I was like, oh, he's probably just calling me to tell me, oh, well, thanks, but, you know, we're going in a different direction. He gets on the phone, he's like, so, looks like we'll be making a movie. And I go, I said a bunch of words I can't say because it's a PG audience right now, and I literally started rolling around on the floor. But I think he called me just to hear that reaction, because usually you know you send it through the agent or the manager, and they're the ones that break the news. But he wanted to be the one to tell personally, and you know, it's just a testament to the kind of guy that he is. So you know, he's with us even though he's not with us.
Yeah.
None of us would be here without him.
Ben, do you have a...
Yeah, same thing. I was meeting with Zach, and he actually had a chance to see all the concept art and all the stuff. And basically, he was like, you know, I want to pitch you this idea, but basically, if you want to know what we're doing this. And he took out this like sculpture from the Dark Knight from the Frank Miller book of Batman and Superman fighting, and I was like, wow, I'm in. That was the extent of his pitch.
Fantastic. Yes, what is your question, Clark?
Hi, I'd first like to say I'm super excited to be here. This is
Oh
my
my
first
God.
Comic-Con.
Welcome!
My name is Raphael, and I want to say, Hall H, we all made it. My question's also for the entire cast, but before I say that, I noticed Henry Cavill's not up there, so if you need a Superman,
They don't need you.
but I just want to know you guys look like you have great team chemistry. Who's the funniest, and is there like a funny prank story or something that you guys can tell us?
We don't talk about prank stories.
I don't know we're allowed to tell those ones. I think we're all funny in our own ways. I think that's what makes us so cool is that we all have our different sensibilities with humor. Who I think is I think everybody's the funniest. I have a blast whenever we step on set. So.
Yeah, we got lucky. It's a great group. Everybody's really, really cool and easy and great to get along. It's a pleasure to go to work every day. You know, it was really pretty special.
If you know that the pranks are gonna have to become stories later, you gotta reel them in big time, you know what I'm saying? So we just made a flat out agreement at the jump. No prank sharing. These pranks stay between us.
I mean, is it for serious business though? For Ezra, it's when you're coming in and there's a sort of an established group already, and you're the new guy. How are you seeing how to complement what's going on, and how are you seeing about fitting in?
Why am I the new guy?
Okay.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it can be hard.
Sure.
But you know, hopefully you just love yourself.
Okay. Oh, that's really sweet. What a nice Oprah moment.
Learn to appreciate or tolerate you at some point or another. Get back here. But seriously, why am I the new guy? I don't understand.
I just mean in the Justice League, like in the group.
Well, we're all kind of the new guys. Jason, myself, and Ezra, I think.
Do some research, man.
This is my house!
This is their house.
It's been a long week.
Well played, well played, well played. What is it? Thank you for your question. What is your name, sir?
Welcome to our house, and my name is Roberto.
Hey, Roberto.
Hey, what's up with the reshoots? Are you guys secretly filming part 2 already? Thank you.
Well, if it's a secret, we can't tell you that, first off, right? No, I think we're just about finished with everything. They've been brief, if anything. But yeah, Josh is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up.
So that's more time. What's your name and question?
Hello, how's it going, guys? First of all, I want to say, you're my boys, but you're my gal. I love you. But I just want to know from each of you guys, if you could go toe-to-toe with the Suicide Squad, who would you like to share a scene with from that cast?
Jai Courtney, Boomerang.
I would do Margot Robbie.
Will Smith and I have been planning to have a fight for a long time. Me and the Fresh Prince are gonna go at it. It's gonna be a bloodbath, honestly. I'm done for.
I'd probably go Crocker Enchantress, maybe. You know, maybe some science versus magic on the Enchantress side of things. See how it all works out.
Nice.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Hey, man, what's your question?
My question is for the whole cast, and my question is, where is Superman gonna be in this movie?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question.
Son, I'm not sure if your parents showed you the last movie, but Superman's dead. That's your parents' fault. Hey guys, that's just a fact. My kids are here too. They know he's not around.
He just likes to drop truth. He just likes to drop truth sometimes.
You'll see the movie. I drop all kinds of truth.
The soothsayer of the group.
We don't know. I mean, you guys probably know, but you probably can't say. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can't say much, but you're gonna be, if you're a big fan of Superman, then I'm sure you're gonna be very, very happy to watch us.
See that?
That's how you can take him what he wants, son.
You can take Gadot with you. Thank you so much. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Kaylin, and I really love all of your movies.
Yeah.
And my question is for the whole cast. What was the most memorable scene in your movies?
That's a really good question too. How old are you?
I'm 11.
Wow, like your daughter, no? Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I really liked when we were all together as friends.
No, honestly, we had so many great movies. That too, but we have so many great moments shooting that with this movie. But for me, the most surreal moment was when we were all in our costumes and we were shooting a fight sequence, and it was just unbelievable. It was. I didn't know if I should start laughing or just continue staring at the monitor watching the playbacks, because it was so crazy to see all of us in these characters. But that was the most memorable moment that I had that day.
Anybody else?
When I got to see all the Bat gadgets. I got to see his Batmobile, all the Bat tech stuff. That was super memorable. That wasn't necessarily the shooting side of things, but just as like the fanboy in me, was really pleased that day. And also, I think there's a moment in the trailer that we saw in the last one briefly where it's going across the heroes and there's that orange background. That's the first time we're all together, standing together, and like, it was beautiful. It was really, really a special moment.
I think my fangirl moment was probably on the Batmobile surfing it. With the down there. Yeah! Surfing the Batmobile. My kids are watching me, I'm like, Daddy's gotta go to work.
Yeah, I mean, mine's the same as when everybody was together, and you know, also there's really something satisfying about getting to see it. Like, I finally get to see what Ray looks like in the movie. You know, he wore his pajamas the whole time we were shooting.
I did have a lot of pajamas on. I was the only one without an actual costume. But it worked because, you know, Cyborg, he feels a little self-conscious about the way he looks, so that helped. It helped a lot.
You have nothing to be self-conscious about, right?
Excellent. Thanks so much. We have time for one more question, and I'm so glad it's you, Mike. What is your question?
My question is for Jason. Now, I know you're a one-man army, but that battalion of ships that were in the water, was that yours or Mantis's? Or you can't tell?
You know what? I'm used to getting in trouble, so you know what? I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah!
They sent me all the way from Australia, so that's Ocean Master's army. Black Mons ain't got nothing like that. That's my brother. I'm gonna be fighting my brother.
The next 5 questions are for Jason too.
Give us all the secrets now! Give us now!
How does it end? What's the last shot? I just want to make sure and let you guys know that Justice League opens November 17th. 3 years ago on this stage, I took a picture with Colin, Ben, and Henry, a little selfie that I took. But now I feel like since everyone's here, would you please indulge me, because this is an opportunity. I don't know if it's going to happen again. Can we just take a quick one more time, please?
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely right. Ezra was right. This is your house, and you make the rules. And so I'll play the trailer again. And I will thank you so much for being here. I will see you this afternoon. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience today for Hall H. I'll see you later. Roll